Hello, sunshine. Welcome to Be Visible with Veronica, the podcast where bold conversations and soul-aligned strategy help you awaken your most powerful self. I'm your host, Veronica Bond. Get ready to stop dimming your light, own your magic, and finally be so visible you can't be ignored. Let's get visible. Hello, sunshine. Welcome to the Be Visible with Veronica podcast. I'm your host, Veronica Bond, and today we have an incredible journey of fortitude, strength, and beauty with Marisa Monaghan, who is sharing with us the story of starting her cleaning business 21 years ago. But first, a word from our premier sponsor. A heartfelt thank you to our premier sponsor, Green Living Magazine, Arizona's leading conscious lifestyle publication. Each issue is packed with new ideas on how to use nature's resources for sustainable living tips, inspiring stories, and statewide eco events. Subscribe today and get 12 print issues and digital access at greenlivingmag.com/store. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us today. I have the extreme pleasure of introducing a story of perseverance, growth, scale, dreams achieved, even to the point where our guest is a new author in a book called The Six-Figure Chicks. Welcome, Marisa. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
We met just a few weeks ago, and we've had an opportunity to chat a little bit about where you're taking your voice, how you're stepping forward as an entrepreneur, and all these beautiful things that you're saying yes to, that you are owning this company that you've created. And I'd really like to talk about that and how you knew you were going into this business 21 years ago.
I never had any idea how far I wanted to go or how big I was able to grow. I was just keep hustling day by day with my employees. Back then, my husband was around. He was helping me at the office. So I was just worried about the team and going out there and making sure all our clients were satisfied with our job. Going fast forward a little bit, my husband passed away 8 years ago, and I had to step back from doing the cleaning and going to the office and administrate the business and making sure it didn't drop. I just didn't want to lose any clients, but at the same time, I had no knowledge at all of managing a business.
Because that was something your husband had done on that on that end of things.
Yeah, he was very well knowledgeable on the office and business, building business. He was an executive chef for an Italian restaurant, and he helped the owners open new restaurants. So he knew the tactics and everything of the office part, how to administrate and how to run it. I have no clue.
And suddenly you were thrust into that space because you had to all of a sudden wear two hats that you weren't used to wearing. And I love this part of your story because you could have closed your doors.
Right.
You could have gone to work for somebody else.
Yes.
And you decided to find a way through that grit, the grime, the goo of life, and come out on the other side. And how long has it been? And I'm so sorry to hear about your husband's passing. How long has that been?
8 years.
Oh, 8 years ago he passed. You did say that. I apologize.
It's okay.
In the process of you overcoming that tragedy in your life, what are some of the things that you leaned into to help you keep moving forward?
First of all, my kids. I had 3 kids that I say, if I don't stand up and keep going, I would not want my kids first to feel sorry for me, to have to not being able to provide for them. I never liked to people to feel pity for us. I'm more like a giver. I'm more like a helper than receiving, and I've never seen myself people helping us in any way because they were sorry about me or about us. Like that was just not my thing. So that was kind of like my kids were my fuel to keep going day by day. And also thinking about my employees because I was the one providing it a job. It's the way that I'm helping them in a way to provide for their families too. And back then I had like 6, 7 crews, and I just didn't want the girls to just go away, find for another job because I couldn't get it. I couldn't done it, which I knew I could. It was hard, it was tough, but I knew I could.
So you spoke into something right there, Marisa. You talked about you're used to giving and not really used to receiving. And yet this was an opportunity for you to have growth there. And I'm a firm believer as an entrepreneur that when you open up your heart, especially if you're empathic and you're a highly sensitive person, and I am a very emotional person. I get tied up in the emotions of the day-to-day. I've been told you're too sensitive. And I have a giving heart as well. And I grew up being taught that you give and you give and you give. And what I realized is that journey for me actually stopped some of the receiving that was coming my way. I didn't know how to open up my hands and catch the blessing.
Yes.
And I had to learn that. It wasn't, don't get me wrong, I had people in my life love on me, support me, all through my childhood and teen years. I had a community of family around cheering me on and picking me up when I stumbled. But there was something about taking the word humility and being humble, that everything needed to be me giving, and even a compliment. Oh, no, thank you. Or no, say no to somebody gifting that. And the minute I learned how to accept abundance, somebody said to me, when I stop somebody from gifting me, can I bring you dinner when you're going through something hard, as I'm sure you were offered? What do you need? What can I do from you? Can I help pick up the kids? Can I bring you meals? And we say, no, that's okay. No. We actually stop them from being in their gift.
Yes.
We stop that person from giving because we are so tied up in the no, we can't receive because I'm the giver.
Right.
And when you found yourself in that receiving mode, because I'm sure there was times you had no other choice but learn how to do that.
Yes, there was a point in my life that I had to surrender inside of me and start accepting things from people and not thinking that they were sorry about me. They were starting to take it as like they are helping me, they're giving me because they care about me, not so much because they were sorry. So I kind of had to switch my chip inside of thinking that they were helping me because they were feeling sorry, to being grateful for things I've done in the past for them.
That's amazing you said that, because when we launched this podcast, it's not very often that I'm asking for support or help in my community. Yes. And I had to step into this uncomfortable zone where I was saying, would you like to sponsor? Would you like to help? Would you like to spread the message, the word? Because I knew the impact has an opportunity to grow globally. And just this conversation that you and I are having today, somebody's listening. Somebody next door to us, somebody in another state, somebody in another country is listening to our conversation, and it is going to change the trajectory and path of their life. Because they heard us talk about how you were able to have some vision and a need for your children to move you forward. And I love that you're sharing this story because it continues. So after you pulled yourself back up by those bootstraps and the grieving process is never over. My brother died in October after 10 months battling with cancer, and he was so young. And I find that I'll wake up in the morning and just cry, or I'll be going to bed at night and I'll feel sad. And before that, it was a brother-in-law. And before that, it was a father-in-law. So all of these people have passed in my life, but your husband, your partner, your man, your father of your children.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot to go through. And the culture that we live in says don't grieve very long. Like, get back to hustle.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, like we were going through, a funeral and all the arrangements for him, and I was still working day by day with my employees. I still have to send them to work every day. I still had to create their schedules, talk to clients, confirm cleanings, throughout my grieving. Like, I didn't have a head, but my books were helping me to kind of like stay on so I didn't forget people. Right now it's more digital. I used to do it on the Franklin book, already manually. So that was helpful back then.
Yeah, 21 years ago, there was no digital.
Yeah.
How did we survive?
I know.
Thank you, Franklin Covey. Right?
Yes, for sure.
So what do you think, Marisa, if you could name 3 things that you did that moved you into this beautiful 6-figure category in your business, do you think that there's 3 that you could share with the audience today, what those are for you?
I would say definitely being grateful first thing. Get up and say, thank you, Lord, for another opportunity, another day. Thank you for filling my schedule and bringing clients to it. When I was having a hard time with my employees, I was, please, Lord, guide all our hands and everybody that they get to each house, safe, and whatever they do it with, grace and care, that people are clients get satisfied. And so that was every morning thing for me. And it just happened that it was a full 35 houses a day back then. And it was no stress. Everybody was working perfect. Everybody was working happy, and it was good harmony around us.
Oh, so you created a culture and a community within your business.
Yes.
And that's what's helped you grow and sustain and probably keep employees too.
Yes.
How many people do you employ currently, Marisa?
14 right now.
Okay. 12
during the day and 2 at night.
All right. I love that, because you're successful when you are also gifting into other people's economy. So not only did you have a commitment to your children 8 years ago, but you had a commitment to your employees. You've said that over and over again.
Yes.
And you wanted to make sure they knew they had a job to go to, and they were having their paycheck. And when you grow your business, and you've hit now growing, let's grow and focus on 7 figures, right? The next big scalable number for you. You will be employed, having more employees, and you have to create a culture. So is there something that you do for your community that lets them know that they're part of your bigger vision?
So I always encourage them day by day to learn. I always say, whatever I teach you here, the way I like to work in my house is take it inside, take it with you everywhere you go. If you learn how to do it right, and you can open your own business, you can move on with it. And if you work as good as you work with me somewhere else, you're going to grow anywhere you go, really fast.
I love that, because this is about now collaboration.
Yes.
Somebody's going to come to you and say, I want to do what you did. Can you teach me? And because of you've laid all of these steps and you have these systems and processes in place, you literally just said to the world, go take what I showed you and create your own business.
Exactly.
Wow.
And there's some of my employees that clean houses on their own. I totally help them out, if they have any questions, if they want to know prices or ideas, how to price or how to do things that they're not capable of doing, what to use. I don't hide anything for them. They know what we used, what methods we use, everything. I don't really, to me, if this employee gets successful, to me, it's like achievement, not like
wow, achievement.
Yeah, I mean
It's an honor.
It's an honor. Yes.
Other entrepreneurs will say, "I love it when somebody copies what I say, do, interact, because that shows that I did something right."
Yes. And I have an employee as well that came back and showed me a house that she did all by herself. She kind of like starting to pick up houses on her own as well. And she's like, look how I did it. The client was so happy, and I could not done it without you because you taught me how to do all this. And thank you so much. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, if I can help in any way, shape, or form, I'm happy about it.
So you have a magic wand, and it's 3 years, 5 years down the road. Let's go with 3 years down the road. What does your business look like? What does your life look like?
I honestly would like to help people grow. As much as I'm learning more and exposing myself more, I would like my community to grow with me, or if I can motivate them to do what I'm doing and expose themselves and learn how to do all kinds of things so they can better their families, so they can move on. That would be a great thing to do.
I love that. And are you putting systems and processes in place little by little in order to maybe help them do that?
Well, yeah, like I said, they starting to just get their own houses here and there, and I just kind of like guide them and help them in any way, shape, or form I can. And now that I've been doing a lot of meetings, I've been traveling often with conventions, and they see that, and they understand that. They help me when I'm gone to making sure everything goes right, because almost everybody knows what they're doing or what they're supposed to do.
So now your business is working when you're not having to be working it.
Yes, and at the same time, they notice it. And I notice myself that I'm changing in a way I talk to them, more professional way, humble way, but at the same time, a little bit more strict than what I used to be.
So you're working on your own leadership as you're growing as well.
Yes, and I like the person I'm becoming, because the more I learn, the more I want to help. Yes.
I love that. Oh my gosh. I like the person I'm becoming. You look in the mirror and you're like, hey, you go, girl. I love you today and tomorrow and all days.
Honestly, I feel, I feel like saying to people, I love even my own family, to say the word love you, even though I couldn't say it. My heart would break. I will cry before I say I love you. Now I tell people, I love you with my heart. It's, you did great, awesome, like keep doing it. And I wasn't able to speak those words out because I was so shy to speak out, or my heart would break because I would get emotional that things were going right. Now I'm able to express them. And so I can see how people liked it. Like some of my employees, I give them little gifts, minimal things that I would say, a key change or a pen, or I brought them new uniforms, from hats, aprons, all kinds of the company name and stuff. Mm-hmm. They were so grateful. They got so emotional. Like, thank you so much. Now we're huggers. We didn't used to be huggers.
So for those entrepreneurs who are listening here, understanding how to create a culture with your employees where they feed into your vision, because you want what's best for them.
Yes.
You're not holding them back. You're not holding them down with your thumb. You're not afraid of them leaving you. No. You want them to grow and scale and 10x where you are, because I'm watching you glow here. You are smiling and your eyes are so bright, and I can feel that love coming through.
Yes.
And what you've been able to do for your community. And how old are your children now?
My kids are now 19, 21, and 23.
So you have adult children.
Yes.
And they've watched mom. So you've had to lay a foundation.
For sure. And
be a role model.
Yes. I always wanted to be somebody that my kids can look up to. Not that they have not done that before, but I want to feel myself, proud of myself. A lot of people says, you've done so much, you should, celebrate every change on you. But I didn't recognize it before until now. I'm starting to recognize my wins. Right now, I'm not nervous at all right now. I'm so excited talking with you. I would not be able to do this. I would be petrified right now to talk to you, or cameras, I'm so happy. I love who I am now.
This is so good because a few weeks ago when we first met, you had joined our eWomen Network chapter, and we got on a call, and you said, Veronica, I'm really nervous, but I know I just have to step out. I have to step out. I'm learning to use my voice. I'm learning to share my story because I know it will impact more people. Yes. And it in just a few weeks' time, I mean, I saw you last week. We're going to talk about the 6-Figure Chick book now. This came out June 21st. It was in a digital release. It's a blockbuster hit. It is for women entrepreneurs. What made you decide to participate in this anthology?
You know, that is so funny because, again, not having a career for me, I put myself a little low in a lot of things. And I told Mel, I don't even know what 6-figure is. Mm-hmm. And when I tell her, like, I came to a BNI group and it was like tax season, and I was like, this year was really good. I made like 112. And she's like, you're a 6-figure chick. I'm like, I am? I'm like, I want to get a new book then.
Oh my gosh, look at that. You were so in the weeds of your business you didn't even know that you had crossed over a really big milestone.
Yes.
And I want to talk about that because I think women entrepreneurs have a way of not looking at the numbers. It is the lowest on the list of things we need to focus on. And I learned through my mentors and the coaches that I've brought on to help me scale and grow my business and my vision, that when you focus on the numbers, it is amazing how they can work for you instead of against you. And I don't know why women have this fear around looking at their numbers and owning them and being proud of them and spending the money and getting a loan and investing in themselves and knowing that they can get that investment back, knowing that that will come back to them because they are moving forward in their business and they're excited and they have a vision, they have a passion, and they trust that the process will work. And so many live in fear. And that's what I love about the 6-Figure Chick book is they talk about overcoming that place of fear, just like what you're sharing today.
Yeah. So honestly, again, like I say, I thought a 6-figure chick was like millionaires, not $100,000 earners.
Well, and you got to hit the 6 before you hit the 7.
For sure. Now I know. I'm going there. That's my next goal.
I love that.
My business is now generating like almost $750,000 per year.
Wow.
My goal is to get to the mill.
Oh my God.
Yes.
That is great. And do you attribute that to you taking some time to really learn and understand your numbers and where they're coming from?
Well, yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. A lot of that has to do with all those people that I had around me, my accountant, my CPA, my financial advisor, all my network people that now it's like helping me going through all my personal stuff, learning what's going on with my stuff. So now I'm like getting more ideas and learning, you know, the best part, I would say the best part of my business
sure.
is knowing where I'm at all times, not just from like the client's house door inside the house. No, mm-hmm. Now I know my office part, how much money I make, how much money I spend, how much money I'm, like I had no clue, any of that stuff.
Wow. I think that's so powerful because I know, yes, I'm talking to all of you out there. I know that you guys are not always focusing on your numbers. And it was the first hire I did when I brought in a bookkeeper. And it was after many years in business, you guys. So I wasn't great at this. I thought if I didn't share the numbers with everybody, then it would be okay if I didn't hit goals. I would move money here, over there. Like, I thought that would be okay. And what I realized is once I got very accountable to knowing what was coming in and what was going out, I could grow. And I could also plug the holes. Yes. Because, a sinking ship doesn't help anybody. And when you plug the holes in your business, it's amazing how your ship can rise, your sails can get bigger, your boat can get longer, all the things, yes. Right? And you can go bigger places and you can do more.
Yes.
And you can give more and you can impact more. And that's really what this podcast is all about. It's having that conversations with entrepreneurs. So here we are talking to Marisa. an almost seven-figure chick, sounds like, which I'm loving that. I cannot wait. Are we going to have a big celebration party for you? You'll be invited back on the podcast when you hit that number. We will have a glorious celebration for you. And I want to come to your party because I know you're going to have one, because that's a really big deal. I love it. I think I heard recently that 2.1% of the seven-figure earners in the United States were women-owned businesses. But I think that number's dropped to below 2% in the last couple of years. So we need to get that number back up there.
For sure.
And I know that this podcast is going to help to do that, because somebody's going to be listening. They're going to be inspired. They're going to be facing a circumstance and a situation, just like you did 8 years ago, where they have to decide if they're going to call it quits or they're going to keep moving forward. And now, by listening to your story, all the lives you've impacted, your employees, your children, yours, and all the economies you get to invest in, because you have this, you said it, you have a financial advisor, you have an accountant, you have a bookkeeper, all of these people who are now part of your vision, your dream, your growth, and your business. Congratulations.
And if I can just say one thing for the audience, if
Yes,
anybody's listening, and
lots of people are listening. It's a global podcast.
And the way I take it to on my personal level, like, how the more we have, the more we want. I'm applying that in my personal growth. The more I'm learning, the more I want to learn. The more I want to, of course, the more you know it and the more you apply, the more money you're gonna come. You're gonna bring more revenue. Mm-hmm. So it's, instead of spending, it's just thinking about the growing part. Keep growing more. Never stop growing. Never stop teaching people. Never stop, savings, and all the numbers keep adding up, and more things. Blessings, I call them, keep coming your way.
I love that. One of our mantras we've said in our family for 40 years is money flows freely and abundantly, and we always have more than enough. Yes. And that just gives us opportunities to share and grow and expand and gift. Yes. And it's beautiful. And have comfort and peace of mind, and really be in that space of abundant mindset and gratitude. And I think that's kind of become the overwhelming theme on these interviews I've been doing, is that abundance and gratitude mindset. It really does mean something. It's not just lip service out there. It is a practice.
It is. And also, getting together with the people who you want to look like. You want to be a millionaire, then surround with millionaires. You want to be successful, then surround with successful people.
I love that.
And that's how I'm finding myself like that.
Put yourself in a room of those more successful than you.
Exactly. That's where I'm at right now. I am around all these people. That's why I feel like I'm growing, and I feel great.
That. Well, I'm honored that you came on my show, and I'm in the room with you, and I love that, and I love that you shared your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And here is your gift for being on the podcast, Be Visible with Veronica.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And next week, we're going to hear from Tammy Webb with OCJ Kids. She is our nonprofit that we will be highlighting. And it's a wonderful conversation about children in need in the foster care system, and how her and her husband Gary have been able to create better lives for them. And if you like what you're hearing and you want to know more, know that every Thursday we drop a new episode, and you can follow us wherever you listen to podcasts or on YouTube. And Marisa, if anybody wants to get in touch with you, how are they going to do that? If they want to reach out, do you have a website? Do you have a phone number? Can we put it in the show notes?
Yeah, of course. My phone number is 602-751-4113. And we go all over the valley for those people that ask, like, how far you go to. So just call me or text me, and I can come over for an estimate, a free estimate, and we just go from there.
I love that. Marisa, thank you for being on Be Visible with Veronica.
No, thank you for having me.
And we will see you next week. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to Be Visible with Veronica. If today's episode sparked something in you, share it. Tag me and pass it on. Your presence has power, and the world is better when you let it be seen. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and keep showing up as the unstoppable force you were born to be. I'll see you next time.